Hi, good afternoon. This is a PowerPoint on the Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal, and this is brought to us by Mr. Carter's history class. So we're just going to get started with this, all right? And in this, or after this, students will describe the Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal as a response to the Depression and compare the ways governmental programs aided those in need. All right, so a couple of quick bell ringers. These need to be answered before class. All right, so first of all, I need you to describe each of these visuals and tell me what themes connect them. Also, describe the setting in U.S. history which produced these images and compare the situation from which these images come in our current economically depressed U.S. All right, so what was the New Deal? The New Deal was a comprehensive set of social and economic programs enacted during the Great Depression by the FDR administration that have become part of our everyday lives today. So I want you to describe the creation of the Tennessee Valley Authority as a works program and also as an effort to control the environment. In 1933, the Tennessee Valley Authority, known as the TVA, was created as part of Roosevelt's New Deal to control floods and bring electricity to rural America. The TVA generated over 40,000 jobs, building dams, power plants, roads, and miles of wiring. So, what do workers do with the money they earn? And how could the TVA help the economy? Right. So next, I want you to explain the Wagner Act and the rise of industrial unionism. The Wagner Act gave workers more power through the right to form unions. Formed in 1935, the Wagner Act guaranteed workers the right to unionize, allowed for collective bargaining, allowed for binding arbitration, and formed the National Labor Relations Board to monitor labor issues. All right, up next, we are going to explain the passage of the Social Security Act as a part of the Second New Deal. After 2 years of New Deal programs, the American economy showed little sign of recovery. So, to try and speed up the recovery process, Roosevelt launched his Second New Deal. The Social Security Act, passed in 1935 and provided retirement benefits, unemployment insurance, and welfare to the needy. All right, so Eleanor Roosevelt, we're going to talk about her as a symbol of social progress and women's activism. Eleanor Roosevelt spoke to many women in African American groups and then relayed their plight to the president. Though little progress in race relations was made, Eleanor helped promote minority and women's rights. She really was FDR's eyes and ears. All right, so up next, we're going to identify the political challenges to Roosevelt's domestic and international leadership, including the role of Huey Long, the court packing bill, and the Neutrality Act. Roosevelt's New Deal programs had opponents, including Huey Long, a senator from Louisiana. He started Share the Wealth clubs, believing that the government should take money from the rich and give it to the poor. He wanted to run for president, however, he was assassinated in 1935. Right, so court packing. The Supreme Court had struck down several of Roosevelt's programs, declaring them as unconstitutional. So, in an attempt to control the Supreme Court, Roosevelt sent Congress a bill which would allow him to increase the number of justices on the court. This would allow Roosevelt to appoint justices who were friendly towards his New Deal policies. After much protest by Congress and many Americans, the bill was killed in the Senate. Roosevelt really overestimated his power. Right now, the Neutrality Act. As not only the US, but the world struggled to emerge from the economic depression, military dictators in several countries began to gain power. Think Germany, Italy, Japan, Russia. Worried that the U.S. would be drawn into another European war, Congress passed the Neutrality Act, which made it illegal for Americans to sell weapons to any country at war, and that goods purchased from the U.S. had to be paid in cash and transported on non-U.S. ships. Why do we think Congress would insist on goods being transported on non-U.S. ships? That is the end of it. I will see you all tomorrow in class. Bye.